It's great to have you here on the Clark Howard Show. You know, our mission is to serve you with advice and information that empowers you so you make better financial decisions in your life. I'm going to begin today's show talking about one of my favorite topics, travel. I have a quick update. If you have not booked travel for Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, I got key info for you on that. Also, as annual fees go up, and away on travel credit cards, should you be spending the money for them? I'll fill you in on that too. And later, it's time for Medicare Disadvantage plan enrollment period. I want to talk about what you need to know about the serpent known as Medicare Advantage. It's not your friend. Right now, I want to talk about Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. So I had said in answer to a question a couple of weeks ago, hey, you're late already for booking Thanksgiving travel and you're on the bubble about Christmas, New Year's. And this year, what I said was wrong. New data from Google Flights shows that for whatever reason, I don't know what the anomaly is, but the best time based on their data that they track, and man, do they have a lot of data at Google, October 22nd, on or about, is the cheapest time to book Thanksgiving travel. And about a week later for Christmas, New Year's. These are both pushed later than normal. And so again, I don't know what is going on with travel patterns. I've tried to find out why. I haven't been able to find out the why. I'm just going to tell you to trust that information. But in addition to when you buy, the other part is perhaps even more significant, and that is the day you go, the day you return for a trip over Thanksgiving, and again, Christmas, New Year's. So the Thanksgiving period is a very tight period. The Tuesday, Wednesday before, the Sunday, Monday after, the 4 busiest travel days of the year most years. So the airlines, they're making bank those days. If you can at all avoid flying those days for a Thanksgiving trip, the price just moves down. If you pull up on Hopper or Google Flights or wherever you like to look, and you pull up a map, not a map, it's a calendar, fare calendar by day, and you do your searches one way, you'll see how different the fares are day by day, particularly in the concentrated period of Thanksgiving. Now, Christmas, New Year's is a widely dispersed travel period. And so looking at the calendar and seeing, and again, do it one way. You're going to miss the bargains looking round trip. You can go back and do a round trip search after you've done the one way. But you want to use a one-way fare calendar to see the price discrepancies day by day booking for Christmas, New Year's, as you would for Thanksgiving. But again, you got even a wider travel period and what a difference it can make. Now, I wanted to address something I've had so many questions posted about. I just want to address this. So you got people that have the premium travel cards that have all become even more premium. So American Express now, $900 a year for the Platinum. That's just your fee of, cost of admission. Chase Sapphire, $800. Then you've got the new player in town, the Citi Strata Elite card, that is $595, and then Capital One Venture X at $395. For the top two in cost, the Sapphire Reserve and the Amex Platinum, you cannot justify those fees. You cannot justify them unless you travel a lot, you like to travel more premium, and you have a very large charge volume. Otherwise, they flat out are not worth it anymore. The City Strata Elite works very well for people who are looking for a tie-in to American Airlines, travel American frequently, and can charge meaningful volume on it. Because the tie-in with American Airlines right now, there's an odd thing that you're earning more Advantage miles through the Strata product than you are with the American Advantage branded credit cards. But the one that still remains for someone who travels several times a year as a no-brainer great decision remains the Capital One Venture X. So far, they've modestly reduced some of their benefits, but most of them are still there. And they've kept the annual fee at $395. And with it, you get back $300 of that $395 in free travel booked through their travel portal. So you're down to a $95 annual fee. And then every year at renewal, they give you back the equivalent of $100 in points, making the card a minus $5 annual fee card with a bunch of nice benefits. So it doesn't have the catalog of benefits, particularly like you'd have with the Sapphire Reserve or with the Amex Platinum. But you're also not paying a huge annual fee, and you play simple cards right, you're paying essentially no annual fee for a really nice premium travel card. So that's the story. And Krista, you've got somebody who wants to talk about another airline credit card.
Sure. Ken in Washington wrote in about this. We have the Alaska Airlines credit card for the companion fare. We don't typically use it for spending. We use the Fidelity card instead. I've heard about a premium Alaska Airlines credit card coming out. So this was written before it officially came out. Do you know anything about it? Will it be worth it to get? We have 2 young kids and travel to Alaska and Hawaii multiple times a year. So the companion fare and free bags are a lifesaver.
Yeah. Okay. So Alaska bought Hawaiian. In the agreement to buy Hawaiian, they had to keep the separate names. So they had to come up with a new frequent flyer program and a new credit card program called Atmos. I think that's how you pronounce it, ATMOS. And so they have a business card program, then they have consumer card programs. And the base consumer card program is kind of the one you already had with the old Alaska Airlines program, $95 or $99, I think $95 annual fee. Comes with benefits similar to what you were used to, remains a good choice for you because you said you don't charge a lot on it. The premium Atmos card, which I think is $395 or $350, I've read the whole thing about it. It's a more expensive one. Has a lot of things designed for people who want premium international travel now that Alaska is flying international routes to Europe and to Asia. But you got to charge big volume on it to make that card pay off for yourself. And it's designed for people that will pay big money in points for a business class ticket for one, get a really affordable in points business class ticket for a second person, but big charge volume.
What do you have any idea what volume?
Oh, you want me to tell you the point totals?
Or just like
They're
what volume
serious.
of charge? Like how much you'd need to charge?
Oh, to make it work?
Yeah.
I'd say $5,000 or more a month.
Okay.
Would be minimum to get the premium card. And there may be some analyses that say that I'm wrong, that you need to charge more per month, but it looked like about $5,000 a month. And so this doesn't sound like it's time for you to step up to the premium card. You could do it for 1 year because the initial sign-up bonus, charge enough to get the initial sign-up bonus, and then downgrade after you've redeemed those points the second year back to the $95 card. You could do that. But for the most part, Alaska has stayed with a mileage chart instead of a variable reward system, which means that their points, you know what they're actually worth, unlike the games that American United and Delta play with their points.
Okay, so I think you might have already answered Cory in Texas's question. It's about the Amex Platinum. Wants to know if it's worth it with the increased yearly fee. It seems like the perks are just reimbursements of products I don't really want or jumping through hoops to get some money back every quarter. I'm thinking of downgrading as my main card as a 2% cashback card. I'm a long listener of your podcast, and it helps my marriage. I just send her a podcast instead of trying to explain a topic myself, which never goes over well.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, so the Amex Platinum, what they did is they went to a catalog of things. So you can get at that really, really crazy expensive women's athletic wear thing. Is that what you call
Lululemon.
Lululemon?
They have men's too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you want to see what things are going to cost in 150 years at normal stores, you can go to Lululemon today, because Lane and I went in one recently, and I was looking at the price tags of things. I was dying. I mean, I could not believe how crazy expensive that stuff was. So they give you a $75 credit every 90 days with the Platinum. They give $15 a month Uber credit. They have a restaurant credit that's $100 a quarter if you go to certain restaurants. I mean, it's a lot of hoops to jump through. So you've got to be a high volume charger, a heavy traveler to make it worth it to do it. Oh, and I didn't mention the hotel credits. But again, it's a card for a very premium traveler, obviously, if the annual fee is $900.
Justin in Georgia says, hey, Clark, what do you think of the new Walmart CashRewards card? It comes with a MasterCard logo, no annual fee for the card itself, and if you're a Walmart Plus member, you get 5% cash back on Walmart and Walmart.com purchases.
This is an absolute must for people who are Walmart Plus members. There's a no-brainer card. It's a linear card. It's like using an Amazon credit card. Where do you use an Amazon credit card? Only at Amazon. Where do you use a Target Red Card? Only at Target. And where do you use the new Walmart CashRewards card? Only at Walmart. In each case, getting your 5% additional discount. It is an absolute great idea for Walmart Plus members to get it. And it's another card in your wallet. Who wants another one? But it's part of what's happening with the behemoth retailers is they all want you in their own orbit, give you an additional incentive to stay in their orbit with the 5% discount. And so the Walmart card is a really great idea for people who are Walmart Plus. If you're not familiar, it's like Amazon Prime, except I'm prejudiced. I think it's better because Walmart's prices are generally lower than the prices you get from Amazon. And they've got the multi-channel that Amazon lacks. So if you are doing Walmart Plus, which I get for free with a credit card, if you are doing the Walmart Plus, then you want the Walmart card, which I'm feeling really guilty because you know what I've not done? I haven't gotten the Walmart credit card myself, even though I know I should have it. Patient, heal thyself, Clark. Get the card for shopping at Walmart. It will be done, I promise. Anyway, coming up ahead, we're right at Medicare Advantage enrollment. And if you know what that means, I'm going to fill you in because it's a very important decision more important than normal for people that are Medicare eligible that you got to make right in these next few weeks. Medicare Disadvantage plans represent about half of people on Medicare. So the only things ever being pitched to people who are approaching Medicare age is Medicare Advantage. The salespeople all push Medicare Advantage because they get these big kickback commissions if they put you in a disadvantage plan instead of traditional Medicare. And I know, as I've called it disadvantage plans over the last 10 or so years, I've had hurt feelings expressed again and again by people who are in Medicare Disadvantage plans who actually love the one they're in. If you love the one you're in, you're lucky. You probably know the numbers you should put in for the Powerball or big gamey thing because you got really lucky. But Medicare Advantage plans are pushed really hard by insurance companies and salespeople because they make big money limiting choice of care for you if you're a Medicare patient. And when people first enroll in Medicare, the whole thing is marketing avalanches of material trying to con you into an Advantage plan versus traditional Medicare. Traditional Medicare, you pick who you see. You don't have to have prior authorizations, all that. You are your own boss on selecting the medical coverage you want. And you get Medicare, and then you pick a supplement that covers what Medicare doesn't pay for. With an Advantage plan, it looks so much better because they'll throw in free gym memberships and free this and free that and free the other. But what's going on right now, and you're going to see in the Advantage enrollment period this fall for people already in a plan, is a lot of the add-on benefits and bonus kind of things that made you want to be in that Advantage plan are going away. Because a lot of the Advantage plan insurers overspent, and now they're like, oops, we're losing money on this, and they're cutting things back. So this is when you can go in most states, you can switch from one Advantage plan to another if it's got a better choice of doctors and hospitals or better benefits or whatever. This is the period of time you can switch. In a small number of states, tiny handful of states, you can go back into real Medicare instead of a disadvantage plan. If you're like, oops, I shouldn't have done this, you can do it without a medical exam. Most states, once you elect to go into Advantage, you can't get out because you can't medically underwrite for going into traditional Medicare and buying the supplement that you need to go with it. But know that this year you just don't automatically re-up with who your Advantage plan is with because of the reduction in benefits that are happening this year from a lot of providers. You got to pay attention to your choices in a way that you may not have done in prior years. And I do acknowledge again, there are people who are in Advantage plans that actually have been happy in them. The biggest moment you're not going to be happy in most disadvantage plans, though, is if you get a really bad illness and you can't get the care you need because the disadvantage plan says, nope, we're not going to let you go there. We're not going to let you see that specialist. We're not going to let you have that treatment. When the chips are down, that's when you're going to be, oops, I shouldn't have done it.
Okay. Kevin in Georgia says, help me, Obi Clark Kenobi. You're my only hope. I have a question about freezing credit reports beyond the big three credit bureaus. My daughter just received a credit card and a debit card through the mail from Chime.
Ooh.
She did not request these cards, and she didn't have any knowledge of Chime. Fearing identity theft, She immediately called the numbers on the back of the Chime cards and canceled the cards. We've heard a lot of people getting these.
Getting unsolicited chimes?
Chimes, yep. Then she went to her accounts at all three main credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. Her credit files were frozen at two of the bureaus, but not the third one, so she froze that file. Next, she reviewed her credit report for all three bureaus. There was no record of a Chime account or any recent hard inquiries. So I started digging into Reddit and Boglehead forums. In these forums, I found threads from years ago up to the present that referenced unsolicited Chime cards tied to their bank. In those threads, the writers said that they had to go to ChexSystems to freeze their credit with that company. The writers described ChexSystems as the Equifax, TransUnion, etc. of banking. They report all info related to your checking account history so banks can determine whether or not to allow you to open accounts with them. When people are victims of identity theft, the first things they do are freeze with all three credit bureaus and ChexSystems. So my question is, having frozen her credit at all three bureaus, does my daughter now need to freeze at ChexSystems?
So I have never recommended that, because if you start, I mean, there are people in our space of consumer advice that have lists of more and more obscure credit bureaus they want you to freeze your credit with. I mean, I figure that my job is to get more people to do credit freeze at all. The big problem I've got is that most people just never getting around to freezing their credit, laying them wide open to hassles you can't even imagine when somebody pretends to be you. And yes, there are things that can happen with these more ancillary credit bureaus, and I would put ChexSystems in that. And so I've not recommended doing it. Obviously, in a case like your daughter's, yes, reactively, she should do it at this point because of the consequence. Now, Krista, you said we're hearing from a lot of people.
We've just heard them over the years, and I know we've heard Chime. Not frequently right now, but we hear periodically, like, this does happen, and it's Chime.
So I wonder what's happening behind the curtain, because in theory, it's against the law to send an unsolicited credit card. Mm-hmm. I don't know that there's a law against sending an unsolicited debit card.
I think it's a debit card that usually comes for a Chime account.
So a Chime account was opened in her name?
Mm-hmm. Well, she got the debit card. I don't know. It's sort of unclear. I'd love to see a copy of what she received. You know, I'll ask our Consumer Action Center. I know the Consumer Action Center's dealt with this a lot, so I'll talk to them.
Because if there's something I need to put a warning out about Chime or their process or what you need to do about it, we need to know that and do it.
Okay, Jennifer in New Hampshire says, can you lock your landline phone number like you can lock a cell phone SIM card? Here's the situation. We live in a rural area of New Hampshire, so we still have a landline phone through the local cable company, as cell signals can be unreliable. In late July, I found the landline had suddenly didn't work. After calling the cable company, I was told the number had been ported out 2 weeks earlier. I asked how this could happen without our consent, knowledge, or request after having the number for 12 years. No. Customer service had no good answer, but apologized and assigned us another phone number, but we'd have to wait 24 to 48 hours for it to work. 2 days later, the phone didn't work. Another call to the cable company found that once again, the number had been ported as the request for the new number activation was not done properly in their system. Another new number, another 48-hour wait, and you guessed it, once again not set up properly. The number was given to someone else. Third time's a charm. This number is currently still working. I got a credit for the days that we were without a working phone, and coincidentally...
Oh my goodness, how generous of the cable company!
And coincidentally got a 5-year price lock at a lower rate for the internet and phone combination plan. However, my concern is we use the landline number as a backup to our cell numbers for two-factor authentication. We did check all of our accounts once the phone number issue was settled and updated the contact info and phone numbers for two-factor authorization. Is there a way to lock a number to prevent some bad actor from porting a landline number? Thanks, Clark, and go Pats. There is life after Brady and Belichick.
Yeah, it seems like the Pats are showing life this season. How about that? So another New Hampshire person.
I know.
Who's a Boston sports fan. Mm-hmm. Anyway, So
they're not rooting for the New Hampshire team. It's the New England Patriots, by the way.
Originally they were the Boston Patriots, and they became the New England Patriots. If you go back in the Wayback Machine, if my history's right in my head, but no, there is no like SIM lock on your phone. There's no equivalent for your number that you get from the cable company. I'm assuming the cable monster just messed up here. I don't think there was a nefarious port out.
It sounds like blatant incompetence.
Yeah, I think they just did what cable companies do twice, and then the third time it worked. They were nice enough to give you back the 5 days.
Really, it was 3 times because the port out happened. Then 2 new numbers got ported, didn't get put
I thought it was
in the system.
Third time it was
the third time they gave a new number was the charm, but they
Yeah.
originally ported out her old number.
Yeah, so I don't think anybody was involved in a criminal enterprise trying to get your two-factor authentication. They just caused you a lot of hassle, and I hate that completely. I'm wondering, you know who we used to talk about all the time is UMA? Mm-hmm. Does UMA still exist, OOMA?
I believe so.
I mean, when home phones were still a big thing, one thing I would look at is see if UMA is still around.
But now she's locked in for 5 years.
Well, all that is, but that's having to pay a fee for the phone number and a fee for internet, right?
Right, it's a combo.
Yeah, so it may be cheaper to give up your lock, and if UMA still exists, because we remember that used to be a question we'd get like every week, something about home phone numbers, but it's so rare that people have home phone numbers. You might be able to get the phone number service nearly free, close to free, and then all you're paying the cable monster for is for that internet connection. And whatever you can do to lower your expenses but still have that home line that you feel like you need.
Deborah in Ohio says, why must we install an app on our phones to use coupons or mail offers we get in email? Do companies understand how many apps there are? The saying, there's an app for that, is way out of hand.
Oh, Deborah, music to my ears. How many hundreds of apps do you have in your phone now?
I don't. I just won't. I'm not going to download an app unless it's like really someplace I frequent or whatever. I won't do it.
I have so many.
I know you do. How many are fast food restaurants?
I don't know, but I don't even know how many hundreds of them I have now. Is there a way that'll show me the count of how many I have?
I don't know.
But it's pages and pages. I mean, look at that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going through the same thing because if you want to take advantage of the discounts, I was just in the supermarket very early this morning buying on the new offers, and I had to have the app, and then I had to have a digital download of these coupons and all this stuff. I mean, why was I somewhere other than my beloved Aldi? I mean, how do I explain that? So anyway, yeah, fast food, stores of all kinds. Deborah, you are on the money. It is kind of out of control, but I'm willing to put up with the hassle of all the apps to save all the money I can every day. And it's just where we are right now. Or you can shop at stores that don't do that, like Costco, Sam's Club. You can have their apps, but you don't have to. Aldi, as I mentioned, Trader Joe's. I mean, there are a lot of places you can go that you can go app free if you want and still get the deals. Just saying. And just saying thank you for being with us today. I hope that the rest of your Wednesday is absolutely wonderful, that you have learned something today that's useful to you in your life, and that you're empowered with knowledge that gives you the opportunity to have more control. I mean, that's why we do our websites, Clark.com and Clark Deals. That's why we do our newsletters. They're free. It's all about you being empowered so that you can save more and spend less and avoid getting ripped off. Have a great day.